peace, love, and star. So I want you to remember today when we're talking that you are a spiritual being living in a human body and having a human experience. We all are. Why? Well, you can get different answers from different people. I believe that we're here to learn and to be the best version of ourselves and to love and protect and care for one another. And that just makes sense to me, because when we do the opposite of that, all there is chaos and drama and pain. But when we are there for one another, it brings about love, light, happiness, healthiness, peace. So I think it's important that you understand that you're more than the human body that you reside in. And it's important for folks to understand that when you're in this human body, and I include myself in this as well, that sometimes we're so fixated with the human part of us that we forget that we're spiritual beings. For example, for myself, I forget that I'm just having a human experience, that I don't need to necessarily indulge myself in all the human things. We do, but we don't have to. And I certainly don't think it means for us to indulge in negative things. Some of those being abusing children and sex with children. Now, I'm not a religious person per se. I was raised Catholic. I kind of veered away from the church because of the priest and the molestation of children that they attempted to hide for many years. But I do have a belief in a spiritual higher power, most definitely. What you want to call that is up to you. I just call it a spiritual higher power, that my higher self is that being that lives outside of my body. And out of curiosity, though, the Bible, which is thousands of years old, I looked up some information. I wanted to read it to you and tell me what you think. I did this because I wanted to know what the Bible said about child sexual abuse. And when I went on here to look, let me read you what I found. Okay, it's off my cell. It does say the Bible does not use the modern phrase child sexual abuse, but it clearly condemns all forms of sexual violence, exploitation, and harm, especially against the vulnerable, such as children. The teachings throughout Scripture make it very clear that such acts are evil and bring severe judgment from God. Here are some key principles and verses. This one comes from Matthew 18:6. If anyone causes one of these little ones, those who believe in me, to stumble, it will be better for them to have a large millstone hung around their neck and to be drowned in the depths of the sea. So in reading that, and there's a couple more, but in reading just that small part, I understand that even thousands of years ago, children were vulnerable to people abusing them physically, sexually, emotionally. Now let's full speed ahead to where we are now, and I'll be damned, we have not changed a bit. Not at all. We might be able to do things we couldn't do 1,000 years ago, like use televisions and computers and fly in the sky on an airplane. But when it comes to the human aspect of it, we've done very little to change and to protect our kids. And it saddens me to my core that by now that we haven't gotten it right. So I'm determined to talk about child sexual abuse till everybody hears me. And I'm going to shout it from the rooftops, because children need to be protected. And those adults who were molested or raped as children, you deserved to be protected. That should have never happened to you. So why do I pin on this point on this particular subject? Why am I pinning it down? Because take a look around. If you go, let's say, on television, and we all have like 1,000 channels now, different ways to access TV. If you went to look for documentaries on child sexual abuse, you're not going to find a lot. If you go to look for TV shows that has that subject, playing that day on their show, you're not going to find it. It's not there because people are not talking about it, because people don't want to talk about it. And the thing that really pisses me off is how many times people get away with doing it. And judges will say, well, it's a family matter, or, well, it's no big deal, nobody was hurt. Not understanding that we're supposed to be protecting our kids and anybody else's kids. If I see somebody else's child in trouble, I will do something or say something. I don't just walk away and act like I don't see anything. So I'm determined to get people to talk about this more in some way, shape, or form, so we can start to inform our kids and they start to understand that this is a regular conversation. People are talking about it, and there's nothing to be embarrassed about talking about it. And then they come out and kids will tell you something because they're quicker to reveal something if they feel comfortable to do so, that they're not going to get in trouble. And I'm sure we're aware that people who manipulate and molest children, they work on their psyche. They tell them, well, your family's going to hate you. If anybody finds out, you'll go to jail, or I'll hurt you and your family. I mean, there's a whole manipulation tactics that these people use. And they work very well because it's been going on for hundreds of years in America and thousands of years all around the world. So that tells you that we really need to do something now because our children's protection is so important. And this can keep me up at night when I think about kids and the dark web. What's the dark web? Well, it's just a term used for websites where certain people meet up with other people that are similar to them. Okay, for example, people who like to download child porn or discuss abusing kids with other people, or actually try to set themselves up with somebody else's child, or some people are offering their child. That blows my mind. That we can friggin' put a man on the moon. We can make all kinds of friggin' rockets. We can make all kinds of UAPs, and we can do all kinds of things with our food manufacturing, but we can't protect our kids from sexual predators. We've kept it so quiet on the down low, and it's just all over the place. It's seeped right into the fabric of America. It's pretty damn sad. So we're going to talk about it, and I'm going to talk about it until I can't talk about it anymore. So I just want to touch base on that, and if anybody has any stories that they want to tell, of either paranormal or anything to do with, being abused, because, people may say to me, well, you're talking about child sexual abuse. What's that got to do with spirit? It's all connected, folks. We're spiritual beings living in a human body. It's all connected. And if you don't get yourself right and stand up for the ones who can't protect themselves, our kids, when you go onto the next realm, you're going to feel every bit of pain that you caused anybody in your life. It's so important that we do the right thing for kids. So, hope to see you guys soon, and we'll talk some more later. Peace and love.